You ever notice that Spidey has had a lot of cop sidekicks? I'm putting together a team. It's all the time Spider-Man has tried and failed to recreate the Batman and Commissioner Gordon dynamic. A lot of you older folks out there may remember Jean DeWolf, who is canonically the youngest woman to ever become police captain in Marvel's version of New York. She had some decent chemistry with Spider-Man as a friend on the force, and it was even implied that she had romantic feelings for him that she was very guarded about. But that got retconned for no reason.
You guys remember that DeWolf was in the Spider-Man free game? Shut up, no you didn't.
And unfortunately, her death set off the Sin Eater story arc, which was essentially a whodunit murder mystery. Spidey briefly started to get along with DeWolf's partner, Stan Carter, during this time, before discovering that Stan was the killer and Eddie Brock was a dumbass. Later on, during the Paul Jenkins run on Spectacular Spider-Man, Spidey developed a working relationship with a grizzled detective named Neil Garrett, who was a lot more sarcastic and crabby, making him a good foil for Peter. He was a character that inevitably stopped showing up and has since been forgotten. In J. Michael Straczynski's run on Amazing Spider-Man, Spidey often teamed up with a police officer named William Lamont, a more personable guy that apparently kills Spider-Man in one possible future. He was a character that inevitably stopped showing up and has since been forgotten. There's also Yuriko Watanabe, who is sort of created as a replacement for DeWolf by having a pretty similar personality in the same job. She later became a superhero vigilante character named The Wraith, but she didn't catch on because her gimmick was kind of confusing and too steeped in continuity. She's apparently using Mysterio's technology to pretend to be Jean DeWolf's vengeful ghost, and those characters were best friends despite not really ever appearing in a comic together and being introduced multiple decades apart. She still shows up in the comics sometimes, probably because the game kept her more relevant than the other guys. Then, of course, there's the classic Captain George Stacy, who was one of the first people to ever deduce Spider-Man's secret identity, when Spider-Man accidentally blurted it out to him in conversation. He got squished by bricks. Years later, his brother Arthur appeared to take over his role at the NYPD, being sort of another replacement character. And you know what? You guessed it. He was a character that inevitably stopped showing up and has since been forgotten. Same with his daughter Jill, who was basically just Gwen Stacy, but with black hair. Spidey sure does suck at keeping in contact with his police friends.